So this is a texture that you can use for a video game or using your 3D modeling, etc. And we want to put this texture onto something. Well, in order to do that, we need to create some sort of material that has a lot of the information to make it look like an actual brick wall. And the thing about materials is that materials can contain information that will make these bricks, these rocks, look like they are sticking out in 3D without having to model each one of these and extrude them and everything like that. Follow me so far? Just like you see in video games. So this is called Materialize. It's not part of Blender, but I just brought this to explain a little bit more. This is that exact same texture, but if I turn this texture, you can see that there's light hitting it and it looks like it is sticking out because I have a bunch of different maps here. Right? And just to show you, we can go with cube. We can go with cylinder. So now you see how that looks like it's sticking out? And this is what you will see a lot of times in video games. I didn't model this. This is being done through a bunch of math and science and probably magic, I'm assuming. So what we have over here is we have a height map. It's a black and white map. It's how high or low things are. And with the height map and over here the edge map, the ambient occlusion map, black is pushed back, white is coming forward. So that's pretty much how that works. And those by themselves, without going too deep into the science and having you gloss your eyes all over, what this comes down to is you notice over here as you see normal map. Now if I preview the normal map, you can see we got this blue/pinkish map. So the blue and pink are giving us this kind of, it's giving us information as well. And with the normal maps, it's kind of giving us a bit of the gradation or the texturing. So it's not just black and white where black is away from us and white is coming forward. It's a very nuanced kind of map. And in order for us to have this kind of map, this bluish map, we need for the normals to be facing the same way. So all of these are facing the same way as normals. And so I'm going to hit pause. So I got this little ship here to demonstrate. So a normal is essentially the outside face. All of these are normals. Within Blender, we can go in right over here where we have viewport overlays. If I want to look at the normals of these faces, and that's pretty much what you can deal with, you can see there's these tiny little lines. You can't see them, but if I make them longer, so when you are extruding along the normals, you are extruding along the outside of the face. And this is where you would put your textures at and all of that other good stuff. Because the geometry means that the outside is facing outside and your images should be fine. Now, sometimes the way that we can check this, well, obviously you got all these sticking out here, but if we go back up to viewport overlays and we go to face orientation, you see they all turn blue. That means that everything is outside. Blue, blue, or bluish. I'm colorblind, so I don't know. Who knows? It could be like brown. I don't know. But blue, I don't think it's brown. These are all outside. Now, a polygon, all of these that we've been working with so far, a polygon has an outside face. That's the normal. but it also has an inside face. So if I go ahead and right click, oh, actually I don't have to right click. What am I doing? I can just delete the faces. Well, if I look inside of here, all of this turns red. Why does it turn red? Control Z. Let's go out here. Because that's that side of, that's that face. Let's go to object mode. Yeah, go over here. And I'll show you. We'll add a plane. Where am I at here? So this was the face that was facing out, but if I go to the back, that's the inside. That's the outside, that's the inside. So that means that when we zoomed in on the ship here, this means that when I took away that panel and looked on the inside, it was all red. Now, for those of you that play games, Blender has, and most things have, back face culling. So to cull means to reduce the number of. Usually it's in contrast to culling the herd, as they say, as the villains say from movies. So if I go ahead, I don't know why I want to keep right clicking and deleting. So I delete the faces. I'm seeing all of the red. All of these, that means that these are facing the correct way. Sometimes you will run into this. So I'm going to go up here, I'm going to go to mesh, and I'm going to go to normals, and I'm going to hit flip. Sometimes you'll run into this when you check your models. If that's the case, then if it's a few of them, then you can just click, go up to mesh, go down to normals, and then just hit flip, and it'll be fine. If it's doing it on a few different spots, then you want to select all. And then when you go up to mesh and go to normals, you can hit recalculate, recalculate the outside. And then there's recalculate the inside. So recalculate the outside, or is it recalculate inside? It's one of the two. But you want everything to be blue, essentially, is what it comes down to. The other thing that I want to show you is... So let's hit delete, faces. So if we go back up here, no, not over here, right over here. So up in our viewport shading, you can see on the inside here, when you're playing a game sometimes and the back face culling is on, that means that if you're going to a wall and you go on the other side, the model disappears and you're like, well, okay, it must be a glitch, that's weird. Well, that's backface culling, so it's reducing the amount of polygons that it has to render, usually for optimization. So if I turn this on, all of a sudden it looks like the polygons disappeared. And every time I look where there's something on the inside of here, that's like, whoa, okay, that's backface culling. So if you by chance have that turned on accident, so now you can see it really well, right? So it's not there, now it's there. So take a look at this, our image right here, right? Backface culling is on. Look at that. You can't see the other side of it. So your normals, you want them to be sticking out, facing out. And so when we... So now a little bit more of an understanding of when we are extruding. You can extrude, you are extruding along the normals. And so if we look right over here, zoom in. So you see how these normals, when you hit extrude, they are extruding in that direction. So right here, you see how it's like diagonal? It's not going to go straight up. It's just moving into the direction of the normal. So if I start to, so I kind of put that one in, And if you start to get some really weird geometry artifacting, then you may want to check your normals. And so I just wanted to put this video in the middle of everything to show you, just to give you a little bit better understanding, because I know the word normal gets thrown around and I did mention what they are, but to actually see them and to get a little bit better of an understanding, because you're going to hear them all the time. And to answer your other question, in case you hear weighted normals, I'm not quite sure I understand those fully, because I really haven't had to use them, just to be very honest with you. But those are normals, regular normals. I'm going to stop talking. See you in the next video.